Hi, we are back. Yeah, I took a break. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm cooking my dinner. Okay, so what's cooking in my dinner? Microwave. I'm a single guy. Alright, so yeah, I cook everything in my microwave. Okay, so pork ribs. Yeah, rib tip, this cartilage. Fantastic, right? When I was in Ypsilanti, Michigan, okay, I stayed in one bedroom apartment in Ypsilanti, Michigan when I was in Ann Arbor, Michigan Law School. Okay, Ypsilanti, Michigan, like 30 minutes away from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Okay, so I got apartment room there. Okay, so and Ypsilanti, Michigan, when I was there, is mostly African American neighborhood. I heard from a couple of my friends. Yeah, it used to be Caucasian neighborhood. Okay, yeah, but back in the days, okay, but later on, yeah, African Americans immigrated from southern Af- American states. Okay, yeah. So when I was there in from 2013 to 2015, it's mostly African American neighborhood, and they're fantastic neighborhood. Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, if you feel better about this transition, this change, characteristic of the neighborhood of your hometown, I understand that. Okay, because I grew up in Seoul, South Korea. Okay, they're just Koreans, right? Asians. But if it's displaced by white people or black people, as opposed to brown people like me, Asians, and some of them call us yellows, whatever. Yeah, I can kind of understand. Okay, my South Korea, Seoul, South Korea town. All right. Yeah, I grew up as South Korean Asians, Korean Asians, Asiatic Orientals, right? So South Korea, okay. But if that my childhood hometown is displaced by white people or black people or Indians or Hispanics, yeah, I kind of understand that sentiment. Okay, I do. But we will move on with our own lives. Okay, so whatever. Okay, so Ypsilanti, Michigan, about 30 minutes away from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Okay, yeah, mostly African American neighborhood. Right, when I was in law school, Ann Arbor, Michigan law school. Okay, so they had this restaurant, soul food. Right, they cooked it so well. Rib tips, pork rib tip. It is cartilage, fully cooked, so you can chew on this pork rib tip. This cartilage, it just melts in your mouth. Okay, soul food. I'm a huge fan. All right, I had to wait so that they fully cook this rib tip, pork rib tip, cartilage, so that I can chew on it. Right, I waited about 10 minutes. Right, and they it was good. Yeah, cornbread. Yeah, so huge fan of soul culture, soul food, soul music, African American culture. Okay, I'm a huge fan. Alright, so FYI. Yeah. All right. So what's cooking my dinner? Yeah, it's a barbecue pork rib. Okay. Yeah. I even bought this pork feet from Walmart. I love pork. I'm sorry for Muslims, okay, because they don't eat pork, okay, but I'm not Muslim, so I'm in liberty to eat this pork meat. In Korea, they call it jokbal. That's pork feet. This cartilage, the skin, sometimes this hair, right? Yeah, smoked, okay, delicacy, right? This works cooking. Okay. Okay. Now let's get to the main point. Okay. So yeah, I have my former bosses, teachers, professors, right? They write me recommendation letters, even though I left them. They are like just like my parents. Okay. Very self-sacrificial. Oh yeah, go bigger and better than us. Okay. Yeah. In the U.S. Army, my sergeants, and my officers, my former job employers, my teachers, professors, my parents. Okay, yeah, go bigger and better than us. Very parental love, unconditional love. Yeah, I made some trouble. I made some mistakes. Back. I came to work late. I slept. I dozed off of this classroom. That's all it. That's all me. Falling asleep in the class, in the job, on the job. You come late to job, to school. You take long breaks. What do you do in your breaks? What, you smoke cigarettes? You come to school, you come to work, you come to classes, you come to work. Was that your breath? Was that what's that I'm smelling? The only time you are so punctual is when you go to your lunch break, when you go home. Ring ring, this class bell. That's the only time you are so punctual, when the class is over, right? When the class begins, when this workday begins, you come late. But when you go home, when you go to lunch break, you are so punctual. You're so horrible. But they know me, just like my parents know me. My professors, teachers, former and current employers, colleagues, they know I get my job done before the deadline, ahead of time, because I learned to work smarter, not harder. Where? Yeah, U.S. Army and some other places. Okay, yeah. Not cheating, not cutting the corner, but I learned over the decades of studying and working. I learned how to work smarter, not harder. Okay? Not cutting the corners, not breaking any rules. But being new, thinking outside the box to entertain them, to amuse them. I learned these tricks from many other people. It's not from me. I learned it from other people. I added some of my own, okay, so but mostly I learned from other people. Okay. Yeah. Entertain them. Okay. It's like this concomitation, okay? Concomitant concoction, right? Concoction of different spices, different areas of knowledges, disciplines, okay? Yeah, you combine them, synthesize them, okay? You make them entertained, okay? So they forgive you, alright? By then you have enough equity cushion. You proved yourself that you are an asset. Yeah, you have some liability part, but you are more of an asset than liability, right? So you proved that you do your job and you're smart, you work hard. Every now and then you doze off like I'm flying in the sky, I have a dream. Oh, it's my classroom. Oh my goodness, this is my job. Oh, I'm in my office. Oh, I'm sorry. Or you came late to school, you came late to your work. But when you are at it, you have your passion, right? You love what you do. You want to serve people, your customers, clients, patrons. You want to prove yourself that you are worthwhile because you are being useful to other people. That's suicide prevention. Okay? If you are working, if you are serving other people, yeah, you are finding your meaning of existence in somebody else's. You are serving other people. You are being helpful. You are saving lives. You are working for somebody else. Your clients, your patrons, your customers, your bosses. They need you because you got something to offer. You got something to bring to the table. Right? That's suicide prevention. You are solving some purpose. Your life have some goal, objective, purpose. You are being useful. Your life have some meaning. What is it? You're helping other people. It could be people around you, your parents, your kids, your friends, your customers, patrons, your clients, your bosses, your colleagues, your subordinates. They need you. Does it surprise you that this proposition that your life have some meaning, your life have some usefulness, you are needed, people need you to be alive? That's suicide prevention. Okay? Right. Because it's such an important topic, right? Yeah. It's important that people, I mean, we are born, right? We didn't choose to be born. We are just thrown into this world. Yeah, it's not always pretty, right? So the joke I told to my family members back in Seoul, South Korea, like 10 years ago, because they were looking at my childhood photo. Oh, I was a tender young boy with big eyes, big round eyes, okay? And they told me, yeah, I was looking at your photo, childhood photo when we were 5 years, 7 years old. You used to have very big round eyes. But nowadays, why are your eyes so squinted and so? We cannot quite see your eyeballs, your iris, your pupils. What happened to you? And I said, it was like 15 years ago, Seoul, South Korea. Me and my family members in Seoul, South Korea, we went to a dinner, nice buffet. All right. I was in my college or whatever, mid 20s, okay? So I told them, you asked me a question, okay? Yeah, I used to have big brown round eyes, very pretty boy, right? Tender, right? Like King Solomon once said in his Ecclesiastes book, whatever. Yeah, I used to be tender young boy, very pretty and cute and big brown eyes, big brown round eyes, right? Because I wanted to see the world, what it is about. I wanted to learn, you know. I wanted to see, observe, and learn what this world is about when I was a 5-year-old boy in Seoul, South Korea. But years pass by. I get into my early teens and I get to understand what this world is about. I get to see these not so pretty things in the world happening to me, to other people all around the world. So I was compelled to close my eyes, my eyelids, like this, so that I don't get to see it anymore. So that's why my eyes today is smaller than my eyes like 10 years before. Because I didn't want to see this world anymore. Because as I get older and older, I came to realize this world is not as good as I thought it would be. And there was silence, 5 seconds, and they burst into laughter. Okay, so I laughed too. Okay, so that was like 15 years ago. So South Korea, me and my family members. Okay, we had a good laugh. Now, as I recount this story, I'm not sure if I should cry or laugh. I'm laughing, right? Yeah. So interesting story, right? Yeah, I'm a storyteller, I'm a writer. I know how to dramatize. I'm dramatizing the real story, okay? I'm adding my own fictional imagination, imaginative writer's imagination. Because I've been writing for quite a bit. Fictions, poems, essays, yeah, and some others, okay? Exaggeration, dramatization, okay? So yeah, I did that, okay? So, all right, we'll take 5 minutes break, and then maybe I'll tell you some more stories because night is young and it's Friday. I'm not going back to work tomorrow. I love my work, okay? As a computer programmer in the past, as a lawyer now, I have always loved my work. As a American soldier in the army, as a student in Midwest, Eastern Coast, as an actor, programmer in Western Coast, as a high school student, middle school, elementary school, kindergarten, or pre-kindergarten child, all my life, yeah, I loved it. I loved shining the shoes, dress shoes of my dad to earn 50 cents. I love doing it. My dad's dress shoes, leather shoes, shining it to earn this 50 cents in Korean currency, yeah, 500 won. I had to earn it. And I loved shining the shoes of my dad. Because after that, he would give me, yeah, 50 cents, 500 won. So that I can buy some candies. Allowance. I had to work for it. My parents made me work for all these allowances. They didn't just give me money. No. We had to work for it. How old was I? Maybe 10 years old. Third grade in elementary school. I loved shining the shoes, leather shoes, dress shoes for my dad. I love doing it. Okay. Because my dad is a kind of clean guy, okay? He take bath, he take shower, okay? So his dress shoes, leather shoes, It does not smell bad at all. No, no. He changed his socks. Okay, it doesn't smell bad at all. Not at all. So I just shine this leather shoes, dress shoes. Okay, with the wax and this rag, right? I love doing it. Yeah, I feel this texture of this leather, right? I get to see these shining shoes, okay? And he give me this handsome 50 cents after that so that I can buy some candies in a store. So yeah, I love doing it. Labor. I wasn't thinking about making my dad look better with these shiny shoes. I wasn't thinking about that, okay? I was like 10 years old. I don't have that concept yet back then, okay? But I was just happy that he would give me this 50 cents after I do my job so that I can buy some candies, okay? Yeah. Moral, work ethics, pleasure. 50 cents so that I can buy some candies. Physical pleasure linked with ethics, work ethics. You have to work before you get some money. You have to work for it. Linked with physical pleasure, this candy, sugary, when I was 10 years old boy in Seoul, South Korea. Okay, so that's the linkage between physicality and metaphysicality. Work minus pain and suffering, and then pleasure or world. You get some handsome money, right? Plus minus. Okay, you are lazy, oh, you get punished, right? Yeah, the dualism like this. Okay, so okay, we'll take 5 minutes break. Okay, yeah, it's 10 o'clock, but it's Friday. Tomorrow, I wake up and go take a bath and then start driving to 7 hours away town in Alaska. It's kind of touristy place, okay. But yeah, I did hotel reservation, but they let us check in at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock p.m. So yeah, I can kind of sleep late, right? So we'll take 5 minutes break, right? And then we'll talk some more, or we'll just wrap it up for today. Okay. I don't know. All right. Let's just roll the dice. See what happens. Okay. So some interesting stories, right? Yeah. Good stories. I'm sure you have some too. Okay. As much as I do. Yeah. Then share it with us. Okay. Yeah. I listen. Okay. All right. Let's take 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, we're back. Are you still there? Oh, well, thank you. I'm sorry for a long break. Yeah, I went to my bathroom and I did some Wikipedia or whatever web searching. Okay, so yeah, there's this news about cicada, these winged insects, right? Some connection between prime numbers like 13 and 17 and cicadas, right? Yeah, there's curious phenomena, right? So mathematicians, entomologists, yeah, they try to come up with some logical, rational explanation between connection between prime numbers and cicadas. Oh, yeah, that's what I was reading in my bathroom, right? Very interesting subject, right? Entomology and mathematics. Right? Yeah, entomology, insects. That's what got me into science, right? Back in the South Korean days. Okay, yeah, fascinated by this elaborate beauty of this dragonfly, grasshoppers, praying mantis, beetles, right? Beautiful, right? Yeah, I love insects. So yesterday, okay, I have to mention this documentary in YouTube. Right, last night, watched this documentary. It's about some pond, yeah, water bugs, beetles, right? Yeah, they go through metamorphosis. Yeah, yeah, fruit flies, like what was it, Drosophila melanogaster, right? Yeah, it's extensively studied by biologists, right? Yeah, their genes, DNA, metamorphosis, okay, all this mapping, different segment. Yeah, it's extensively studied in fruit flies, but still, metamorphosis so magical. This worm transform into winged insect that can fly like butterfly, dragonfly, or fruit flies, right? That's something very miraculous, very mysterious, magical. Only God can do that. It's not evolution, no. It's Almighty God. Only God can do that. Okay, it's magic. Metamorphosis. It's magic. Look at you. Yeah. Look at you. Maybe not me. I'm still earth crawling insect. But maybe one day maybe you'll become famous, money, power, fame. Okay, celebrity. Yeah, go get it, sons and daughters. Okay, so maybe I'll never get there. I don't care. I'm happy enough, right? As long as I have my cigarettes and vodka and Alaskan plants, edible plants. As long as I have job, I pay my mortgage, car loan, insurance, premiums, and I pay for my own foods. I'm happy camper, okay? That's Alaskan expression that I learned from my friends, okay? Yeah, I'm a happy camper, okay? I'm easy to please, okay? I don't have to be money, power, fame, okay? But yeah, if you want it, yeah, go get it, alright? Just do it moral, legal way, okay? Just work hard, right? Come up with some invention, product ideas, or take it from me. Because I gave you a lot of product ideas. Yeah, yeah, do it. So all my past and current employers, colleagues, friends, army sergeants, officers, my parents, teachers, professors, they want me to go out there and bigger and better than they are, right? Parental, self-sacrificial absolute unconditional love, right? Yeah, even if I made some mistakes, I dozed off in my job, in my classes. I came late to work, to classes. But still, they write me recommendation letters because they know when I'm at it, yeah, I'm very good at it. I work smarter, not harder. Okay, I always get the job done. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, I miss the deadline. I miss the homework. Sometimes, yeah, I didn't quite do well in exams. Sometimes it was just too much. But they forgave me, okay? They never gave me an F. They gave me gentleman's C. Because they know I tried the best I could. Sometimes it was too much, I couldn't quite do it. Right? So they forgave me, okay? So just gentleman's C. Alright? As opposed to F. Alright? Yeah, I pass fail exam. Yeah, my English as a second language class. Yeah, I got some. Okay. But I took it second time. I passed. Okay, so no problem. Right. Okay. What else? I'm gonna tell you. I have to tell you this story. Have you been waiting until I come back to tell you more stories? Well, thank you. Okay. Like God said, I mean Jesus said in New Testament, right? Yeah, God. Let me take on more layers because kind of getting chilly. Okay, so it's still, yeah, it's springtime, but it's still Alaska. Okay, it does get chilly. Okay, so let me put some more layers. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of chilling stories about ghost story in Korea, South Korea. Okay, it's a fable. It's only bit scary story. Okay, some Korean legends, fable that I learned. Yeah, a little bit scary story. Okay, so okay, yeah, when I was in Afghanistan as a U.S. Army soldier deployed there, yeah, I did some beatboxing. Okay, like whatever. Yeah, I learned from African Americans. Okay. Okay. All right. So this Korean story is fable, like centuries old Korean fable, legend story. Okay, it's quite scary story. Okay, so if you are not like if you are feeble minded, uh, maybe you should stop this footage and not listen to this because it's quite scary story. Okay, maybe not too much, but it was scary to me when I was a teenager. This Asiatic, Oriental, Korean story that's been passed down to generations after generations for centuries. Okay, so this guy, he's a noble man, right? Of noble origin, right? So, but he's kind of provincial, parochial, right? Noble origin. He's a scholar, right? Studious man. But he's from this country region, so he went to this capital city like Seoul, right? About 500 years ago, year 1500 AD, somewhere in South Korea. Okay, so he went on this horseback riding from this provincial region to capital city like Seoul, South Korea. Okay, 500 years ago, right? And in the middle of the road, he stopped by an inn motel, horseback riding back in the days, right? And he met a lady, a virgin, a damsel, young lady. Maybe she was like 18, 19, 20, virgin, okay? And then like maybe it was innkeeper's daughter, hotel manager's daughter, okay, in Seoul, South, in somewhere in South Korea, okay. They fell in love and they slept together, okay. What was he doing? He is like maybe in his late 20s or early 30s. He's been studying to be this government official, big exam, license exam. A man of higher class noble origin. So he studied in this country town in South Korea, somewhere down south. Alright. So he went up. It took a couple of days for him on horseback riding to Seoul, capital city, 500 years ago. In the middle, because it take a couple of days, maybe 3 days, on a horseback riding from the southern South Korean region to middle of South Korean Peninsula, Seoul, right, the capital, to take this governmental exam to be a governmental agent, government employee, officer, right? He studied. It took 3 days, 5 days, okay, to get there to take this exam. All right, and in the middle of the way, he had to stop by because it was at night, right? Some small hotel, local hotel, right? And maybe this hotel manager's, hotel owner's daughter, a virgin, maybe 19 years old, 20 years old, okay? And this guy maybe 31 years old, okay? They fell in love, okay? So they spend the night together, alright? This Korean story, 500 years old story, okay? So, okay? So after they confess their love, 31 years old man and 19 years old girl, a virgin, okay, so they slept together, confessed their love, okay, they loved each other, and next morning it's time for him to leave, to get to take that exam in capital city in South Korea, all right, 2 more days to go up there to take this exam, okay. So yeah, it's about his time to leave, and the girl was crying, okay, but he said, "Hey, I'll be back. Yeah, I take this exam. I'll be right back and marry you. No worries, please. There's no need to worry. I come back to get you. Just give me like 2 or 3 or 5 days. Yeah, it take me 2 days to go up there. Okay, I take that exam. Okay, most likely I'll pass. Okay, and it will take, well, one day I sleep there in Seoul, capital city, and 2 days I come down here. So give me 5 days. I'll come and get you and I marry you. You be my wife. I'll be governmental official. Alright. I'll be making a lot of money. I take care of you and our children. No worries. Nothing to worry about. I come and get you, okay? Just wait for me for 5 days. Give me 5 days, okay? Then I come and get you, okay? I'll marry you. We'll be like happily ever after, okay? No problem. My wine, that is whatever thing, okay? Give me 5 minutes, okay? Then I come back and I tell you the rest of the story, okay? Give me 5 minutes, okay? Not 5 days. Give me 5 minutes, okay? I come back and tell you the rest of the story, okay? No problem. I'm not gonna marry you, but I'm gonna tell you the rest of this Korean story, okay? So okay, we are back. Yeah, I tell you the rest of this Korean fable. It's kind of scary story. Yeah, I mean, back in the days in 1980s, okay, I was in Seoul, South Korea as a teenager, okay, and there's this TV show series. In Korean language, it is pronounced as 전설의 고향. Okay, what does it mean in English translation? It means the hometown of the legend. Alright, it's like Korean scary story series, TV series. Yeah, it was that. Okay, so we don't need this. Okay, humanology. Oh, we don't need this. Okay, I need some room. Okay. Yeah. We continue this later. Okay. So. maybe we had enough of that. I don't know. So yeah, it's scary story time. Okay, you want some adrenaline rush? Yeah, learn about this different culture, different countries, old stories. Okay, you get the thrill that you want. You don't have to resort to tattoos and piercings and LGBTism, ultra internationalism. It's not necessary. Okay, Stu- just study, read, listen, and learn from other countries, legends and old fables, old stories. Okay, like Grimm's fairy tale in Europe or some others. Okay, so because yeah, Grimm's fairy tale is cool. Okay, but I'm gonna tell you some Korean stories. Okay, 500 years old. So this guy, okay, he promised to come back after 5 days. So the girl said, "Okay, yeah, I'll wait for you. Yeah, I'll be right here. I'll wait for you until you come back after 5 days." So you know where the story goes, right? Yeah. So it took 2 days to go up from southern town, middle town, uptown, right? 2 days apart. 2 days from southern town to middle town. 2 days from middle town to uptown, right? Because South Korea is very small. Okay, it's half of the Korean peninsula, right? North Korea, I don't know what's going on there. Right? So, yeah, we're just talking about South Korea. Okay, so yeah, from South Town, Middle Town, Uptown. Okay, Uptown, that's where capital city is. So 2 days from South Town, Middle Town. He spent this night and yeah, slept with this virgin. Made a promise to come back after 5 days. Okay, so after next morning, he promised to come back in 5 days, whatever. Okay, so 2 days from Middletown to Uptown. Okay, Seoul, South Korea. He took the exam and he passed. Top score. He got famous. He got money, power, and fame. It's Seoul, capital city. Seoul, South Korea, 500 years ago. So yeah, he got money, power, and fame. What comes with it? Yeah, ladies in capital city. Rich man's daughters, right? Wealthy man's daughters, okay? High influential governmental officials, generals, they afford their daughters so that they're beautiful. This jewelry, this great body shape, young, virgin, beautiful face. Some Korean girls, they're very beautiful, big eyes. Okay, I've seen them. I when I was in Korea, man, lady, I hit on Korean girls, at least one girl every year. Okay, they can be really beautiful. Okay, yeah. So this guy 500 years ago. Okay, I'm acting. Let me play the character. Oh yeah, I studied and I passed the exam, top score. Oh, this beautiful capital city, big city girls, 500 years ago, year 500, 1500 AD. So South Korea, big city girls, well fed, slender, and big eyes, and yeah, beautiful lips, and traditional feminine, and they are well fed and slender and well educated, big city girls. I came from the southern town in Korean peninsula, and I came to this big city, capital city, and I passed the exam because I studied very hard and I passed the top score. And all of a sudden, I'm a celebrity. Everybody wants me. big city girls, very suave, refined, well educated, fashionable, attractive. Their parents, very highly influential generals, Korean, South Korean generals and governmental officials, maybe businessmen and so yeah, I pick and choose, marry one of these big city girls, and that's what he did. According to this legend, that's what he did. So he got high-paying governmental official job. He married this beautiful city girl, a virgin, right? He had kids, right? According to the story. 5 years passed by. So he was governmental official, paid big, wife and kids, right? And then he got this assignment uh, to go back down south to take care of some problems as a governmental official. Okay, yeah, this official business travel, right? So he got back in this horse riding, all right. Maybe it's not horse riding. Maybe it's like chariot, okay, at the back of this horse and cart, okay. Yeah, so he was going down south after 5 years, and he stopped by this hotel inn after 5 years. Then he remembered, oh, this can look familiar. Good old memories. Why does this place look so familiar? Oh, there was that girl 5 years ago. Oh my goodness. I forgot all about her. It's been 5 years. She said 5 years ago, I remember now. She'll be waiting for me. Yeah, I did sleep with her. She was a virgin before we went to bed together. She was innkeeper's daughter. I remember that now. Okay, that's why this place looked so familiar. And it was at night. So he fancied himself. He was kind of curious. So he went to that hotel room like 5 years ago that he spent the night with this innkeeper's daughter. He went there and he opened the door and he saw a lady sitting and yes, waiting. So he approached her from the back. He just saw her back. Yeah, long hair, right? She was just sitting there, waiting. So he touched her shoulder. Hey, I'm back. And then her body powderized and fell to the ground when he tapped her shoulder. Became like ashes and fell to the ground. When he saw that, he went crazy and never came back. So that's the story. Okay. Interesting story, right? Yeah. A little bit sad. Yeah, it's sad story. Okay. This guy, right, abandoning a lady of his youth, right? Going big time, so he get a new girl in a big city. Forgetting about this rural town, country girl, right? When he was young, when he was small, right? He became big, so he married this big city girl, wealthy man's daughter, right? Yeah. So that's the story, okay? There are some other Korean stories too. Okay. I did tell these old Korean stories in 200 lost episodes, okay? So I have to tell you again. Korean stories, yeah. Just like Hawaiian stories, Alaskan stories, yeah, native low 48 stories, or Latin American stories, or Micronesia, Polynesia, African stories, European stories, Celtic stories, Norman stories, yeah, Russian stories. They're all cool, okay? So, but I know a lot of Korean stories because I spent nearly 2 decades of my life. By now, nearly half of my life in Korea. Okay, so I know a lot of exotic, Asiatic, Oriental Korean stories. They're like centuries old. Some of them even millennia old. Okay, so if time allows, I tell you all about it. Okay, some of them scary stories, some of them not as much. Okay, because they told me when I was in Korea. All right, good stories. Okay, yeah. So, do you want me to tell you more stories tonight, this evening? I can. Korean stories. Sure. Yeah. Give me 5 minutes. Okay. We'll be back. Okay. Yeah. I tell you more stories. Korean stories. Okay. Hundreds, centuries old, old school, traditional South Korean stories, legends, fables. Yeah, I can tell you more about that. Okay, because I know many. All right, so because I have good memory. Okay, I don't smoke marijuana. Okay, yeah, yes, so I have very good memory. I remember all those things. Okay, so give me 5 minutes. Okay, so my recommendation to you: don't smoke marijuana. Don't do hemp, CBD oil, lotion. Don't do it. Okay. Okay. All right. We take 5 minutes, and I'll tell you some more centuries old Korean stories. Not all of them are scary. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The Korea, South Korea. I don't know about North Korea. Okay, but South Korea, yeah, it has long history. Goes way back, couple of millennia. Okay. And it has many stories. I spent nearly 2 decades, nearly half of my life there. So I learned a lot of Korean stories, traditional, old school, centuries old. Give me 5 minutes, okay? Yeah, I'll tell you some more about that, okay? So, okay? Alright. Yeah, I'm a storyteller, alright? Okay. 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 Yeah, the pork rib that I bought because it was on sale. Because in Alaska, up here in Alaska, some stores have this $5 Friday tradition. Okay, it was on sale. I couldn't believe it. Pork ribs, barbecue pork ribs, only $5. I couldn't believe it, so I could not resist buying it. So I bought it. I cooked it in this fat-free milk, microwaved. Okay, so in plastic container, right? Yeah, it's smelling so good. Okay, but yeah, I tell you some more stories because I promised. I want to be true to my words. All right. So, some English expression I learned from my American friends. Okay. Hmm. It's not a horror story. Okay. It's not a scary story. It's more heart touching story. Okay. So yeah, I did tell account this story in this 200 lost episodes, and I did cry when I was telling this story. Korean story, 500 years ago at least. Something like that, okay. Yeah, I mean, South Korea back in the days, 500 years ago, there was a huge famine, alright? So people were starving to death, alright? And this guy, his Korean tradition is this, okay? The son, eldest, elder son, okay, or most successful son, they live with their parents to support them. Okay, that's Korean tradition, right? So supporting their parents as a son is an honor. Okay, because it means you are the most successful son. It's a great honor to live with your parents as an adult because you are the most successful son. You are supporting your parents, and your parents live with you. So that's quite different from American culture, right? In America, if you are living in the basement of your parents, you're kind of loser, right? But in Korea, it's not like that. Okay, in Korea, it's about filial, in American English expression, yeah, filial piety, right? Yeah, so the most successful son, child, support his parents. And it's like badge of honor. You are the most successful son. You're living with your parents. You're supporting your parents because you are the most successful. Like badge of honor. That's Korean culture. Okay, quite opposite of American culture, right? Because if you are living with your parents, you're a loser, right? In Korea, if you are living with your parents, you're supporting them. So you are a winner. Okay, quite opposite, right? Comparative culture. Okay, comparative study, cultural study. Okay, yeah, so East and West. Okay, yeah. So it's quite different in Asia. It's good that we have this cultural diversity, right? Let's appreciate that. Okay. So 500 years ago, okay, yeah, there's this guy, right? He was successful. He got enough money compared to his siblings. So yeah, he lived with his mom. He was supporting his aged mother. He got his wife and kids. He was doing well, okay? But time changes. Like this coronavirus situation, whatever, right? There was this famine. People were starving, right? Drought, flood, whatever. Climate change, whatever, okay? Coronavirus, whatever. So yeah, and 700 years ago in South Korea, okay, there's this bad, ill tradition, okay. So you are supporting your parents. They're in their 60s, 70s, 80s, okay. Your wife and kids, they're young, and you don't have enough food to feed everybody. It's famine, drought, flood, pandemic, whatever, okay. You don't have enough food, so I'm just accounting this Korean story. Okay, 500, 600, 700 years ago in South Korea. Okay, so your wife and kids, you're a man, household, man of the family, man of the house. Okay, you have your wife and your children, and then you have your aging parents. There's not enough food, so you have to. They had to pick and choose. I'm not making this up. Okay, it's a Korean story. Several centuries ago. Okay, I just heard, read, learned about this story in Korea. Most likely, if you are not Koreans, if you are not old school Koreans, Maybe you have never ever heard about this story, right? But in 1980s and 1990s, yeah, we did learn about this story. I mean, somebody has to say it, right? I don't want to say it, but I will because I have this moral and ethical obligation to tell this story of 500 years ago, South Korea. Okay, it's not that palatable. It's not pretty scene. Okay, it's sad, but somebody has to say this story to the world, and nobody got the gut to do this. K-pop singers, huh? Fuck space punks. They're not gonna tell you about this. But I'm not that. I'm old. I'm 41 years old. Okay. Yeah, I have enough gut to say this to the world. So I'll do it. Okay. So this guy, 500 years ago, in Korea, South Korea, he was once successful. Okay, so he's living with his parents and wife and kids. When he was successful, he was able to bring enough food. Yeah, rice, barley, beans, pork, beef, chicken, eggs, vegetables, fruits. When he was successful, when the economy was booming. But economic cycle go up and down. Okay, so when there comes this drought, pandemic, flood, he could not bring enough money, food to feed everybody in his household. He has wife and kids, and he was supporting his aging parents. He does not have enough food to feed them all. So somebody has to go. Okay, so 500, 700 years ago, 600 years ago, this is ill, kind of sick, bad tradition. Okay, this guy would carry his aging parents on his piggyback to the forest and unload them in the middle of the forest, in the woods, deep in the woods. Leave them there, and he would come back home. It's 500 years ago in South Korea. Okay? They don't have social security. They don't have agricultural revolution. They don't have mechanized agriculture. They don't have that. Okay, how did they farm? They sow the seeds on the ground. They use this oxen to irrigate the land, rice field. Westerners You make fun of us Asians to eating for eating rice. Whatever, right? Yeah, but that's what they eat. That's what they ate, and I still eat them every now and then. Rice field, oxen, irrigation, and this plowing this field, right? Not much food back in the days, 500, 600 years ago, alright? So when this pandemic come, flood, drought, no rain, or too much rain, no rain, drought, or too much rain, flood, or pandemic hits South Korea 500 years ago, they just had no choice because there's not enough food to feed everybody in this household. So they had to pick and choose. And they picked the elderlies, right? Why? Because they are elderlies, okay? They're old and sick. This guy had his wife and children, future generation. His wife is still young. She can still make more children for the future generation. But his parents, so that's what they did 500 years ago in South Korea. Okay. They carried them piggyback, went into the woods, unloaded them in the middle of the forest, and then they came back home to get back to work tomorrow to feed this hungry mouth of wife and kids. Yeah. But in this particular story, this was the point where I cried. Alright? So this guy was carrying his mom, aging mother, in her 80s, 90s, maybe 100, okay? In his piggyback, in this famine, when he didn't have enough food to feed all these hungry mouths, right? So this guy carried his mother on his back to the forest, into the woods, so that because he doesn't make enough money to feed this all these hungry mouths. Okay, so he went to the jungle, Korean forest, woods, deep into the woods. He unloaded his mother off of his back. Nicely, kindly, and generously, okay, gently. Hey, mom, I'm so sorry to abandon you like this, but I'm sorry if I failed you. But it's just that I don't have enough money to feed everybody. I'm so sorry. I failed you. And the mother said, 500 years ago in Korea, okay? Oh, it's okay. Yeah, just go back, okay? But know this. Yeah, I don't want you to get lost. It's night. Yeah, don't worry about me, okay? I have lived long enough. I have lived for 100 years, okay? Yeah, I'll just stay here in the woods, okay? Yeah, it's okay. I understand you. I don't understand what you're going through. You can leave me here. I'll be fine, okay? Don't worry about me. But I don't want you to get lost. So, yeah, I was on your back, piggybacking, okay? But I all this all the way from this city to this in the middle of the woods, forest. When I was on your back, I took the branches of these trees and shrubs so that you can find your way back to your house. Okay? Because I care about you. I care about your safety. You're abandoning me in the middle of the forest, but I'm your mother. I care about you. It's unconditional love. Even if when you are abandoning me, going all out of your way to abandon me, to drop me off in the middle of the forest because you are not capable of feeding me. When you are walking down this forest, when I was on your back, I've been grabbing these tree branches and tweaking it, breaking it so that you can find your way back to your house and get back to safe to your house to hug and kiss your wife and children. Okay, so thank me later, son. Thank me later, son. So that's the story. Unconditional love of parents, right? So that's Korean story. Okay, I can share with you, right? So right now I'm in America, Alaska, of all places. So social security system, okay, maybe kind of liberal Democratic Party, okay. I think it's a good system, okay. So because I mean, we want to take care of people. They may be sick, they may be old, but they have so many things to teach us, for us, alright? When I was in Los Angeles, California, yeah, I did some volunteerism, kind of hospice system, alright? This kind and generous gentleman, okay, he was on his bed, right? He was like in his 90s, immobilized. It was in San Jose, California, okay? I did some volunteering, okay? Because I was out of job, so volunteerism for me to get connected with people so that I can get a job. That's why I did volunteerism. I just wanted to get a job to get connected with people, okay? Because my money savings account was running out, right? And then I met this gentleman, okay? So that's why I did my volunteerism to get a job, money paying job, right? Because my savings account was running out. San Jose, California, year 2009, something like that. And this gentleman in his 90s, he's bedridden, immobilized, disabled. In his 90s, I was in, I was volunteering to get connected with people so that I can get a job, right? So yeah, it wasn't quite pro bono volunteerism. Okay, I just wanted to get a job so that I can survive, make money, right? That's why I did this volunteerism. So not quite true volunteerism spirit, but whatever. So I met this kind and generous gentleman, bedridden, immobilized, disabled, in his 90s. Okay. He told me, "Hey, son." He was not Asian. Okay, he was some different race. All right. I'm not gonna tell you what race he was. Okay, but he was not Asian. He was different race. He said, "Hey, son, do you know anything about hard life?" And I said, well, maybe not enough. Maybe not enough. Okay, are you willing to listen? Oh, yeah, I'm all yours. I'm all yours. Yeah, please tell me. Teach me. He said, "You know what? I went to Great Depression back in 1929 when the stock market crashed, Black Friday. Okay, we were starving. We did not have any shoes. We did not have any food. It was such a difficult time. Do you have any idea what a difficult time is?" Oh, yeah, yeah, thank you for sharing your experience. No, no, I have no idea. I had some difficult times, but perhaps not as much as you have experienced. So I admire you, your generation, your difficult time, pain and suffering. I'm a huge fan of these old timers like you are. So thank you for bestowing me your life experience as an old timer. We guys in our generation, we have cell phone. We are spoiled. New generation, spoiled. We inherited all this technological invention from your generation, old timers, right? Yeah. You invented telephone, microphone, cameras, internet, computers, cell phone, right? We are spoiled. We just inherited all this technological ease of life. I know. I study history. Old parental, grandparental generations. Yeah, I know what you have been through because I've read it. I didn't experience it myself, perhaps, but at least I can express my appreciation for you. So thank you. Thank you for your lessons, everything you have done. Parental, grandparental, old generations, old timers, good old school. I admire you. I honor you. We, some of us, we appreciate good old tradition, virtues. You are not perfect. You have some vices, but we appreciate you. We honor you. We thank you for teaching us your wisdom, your knowledge. Thank you for your hard work. We just want to express our appreciation to our parents, bosses, employers, colleagues, friends. We want to give you thanks. We want to honor you, parental figures, role models, and we want to remember you, memorize you, memorialize you. Yeah. So yeah, happy Memorial Day. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Good night. Bye. I gotta eat food. Okay. I'm hungry. Thank you. Okay. Good night. Bye.